Hello and welcome to Technique Question Entry 9 with Chris from CryoSovereign.
Hi everyone.
What is your craft?
My craft is total control over water in every form. Ice, liquid, steam, in any place, any size, any condition.
It's not just moving it or selling it, it's owning how it behaves physically. Ice stays still until you get temperature, pressure, and containers exactly right. When you do, it becomes the lifeblood of cities on other worlds. Picture the future of humanity as a huge body that's not awake yet. Our pipes, made of frozen water itself, are its veins. Our controls are its heart. This is one unbroken chain. Find it, dig it up, clean it, keep it stable, send it out, turn it into fuel or air. If any part breaks, whole colonies die quietly. No water, no life. We don't sell drops. We make sure life can exist reliably away from Earth. CryoSovereign is the quiet backbone everyone depends on, but few notice. We set the real limits on how far humans can spread, how stable new worlds are, and who holds power there. Every leader we manage is a tool that shapes survival for millions. That's why this matters so much to me.
Why is it your craft?
Water is the one thing a civilization cannot survive without, and it punishes mistakes fastest. One bad vapor leak on Mars costs more than 10 rocket launches. One wrong move on a comet, decades of water vanish in hours. I can't stand systems that leave life to luck. I build ones that make survival certain. Most people think of water as something to buy or find. I see it as power. It decides how many people can live somewhere, who runs things politically, and how fast we settle new places. If you control when water freezes or melts, you control society itself. I chose this because nobody else was ready to take full responsibility when things go wrong at that huge scale. It's personal too. I grew up watching people waste or mismanage things that lives depend on because they only thought short term. I wanted a job where patience, exact work, and strong systems are the real strengths.
Who are your customers?
We serve everyone from people designing habitats to whole planetary governments to big industrial operations. They don't just want water, they want the guarantee we'll be there tomorrow, clean and ready, no matter how harsh the environment gets. The big named ones are the Mars Colonial Authority, Lunar Settlement Consortium, and Deep Space Fleets. They choose us not because we're cheapest, but because we're the only ones who can promise supply, purity, and delivery in extreme heat, cold, dust storms, or radiation. There's a second bigger group, every future person living off Earth. Every successful colony, every factory that runs without stopping, every ship that refuels safely. They all benefit without ever signing a contract. In the end, our real customer is the future human race that needs reliable life support to keep growing. We also help engineers and planners indirectly. When we take over water systems, they can design bolder things without huge safety margins for water failure. Everything speeds up because we remove the one problem that always slows everyone down.
What is your specialty/USP?
We own the whole chain from start to finish, mapping where water is, drilling it out, cleaning it, storing it, sending it where it's needed. Other companies do one or two steps. We connect everything into one smart loop where every part talks to the others. A colony literally can't run without it. Our control is quiet but total. We take on every risk, technical breakdowns, rules changing, supply surprises, so customers only deal with one simple agreement. That's huge when everything is extreme. Our real edge is mastering the exact point where water changes state. Mars has deep ice full of chemicals. The moon has tiny bits mixed in dusty soil. Comets spin and try to throw water away. Every place has different rules. We don't just grab ice, we make it behave. That's our unique strength, complete control over the environment itself.
How did you attain this?
We learned the hard way, testing over and over in the toughest places on Earth and off it. Antarctic ice taught us to wait patiently in brutal cold. Mars drills showed us how chemicals eat equipment slowly. Moon soil taught how fast water disappears in vacuum. Comet tests showed how spinning bodies fight back. Every big failure, vapor clouds lost to space, broken drills, exploding tanks, taught us something we could never forget. We built tools and machines before anyone needed them. We set up rigs before there was money for it. Early versions failed spectacularly. Ice melted, drills cracked, traps blew up, but each failure made us better. Slowly, what looked impossible became something we could do reliably every time. It was never about going fast. It was about total control. Off-world, the difference between living and dying is measured in tiny amounts of ice saved or lost, not in big announcements.
Why did you choose this approach?
Breaking the water job into separate companies kills colonies. Each handoff is a place where blame can hide and mistakes grow. People don't die from raw physics, they die from bad coordination. We keep everything under one roof, so there's nowhere for failure to hide. This isn't just a business choice, it's about staying alive. On Earth, you can sell water in pieces. In space, every part has to work perfectly. Our way builds real toughness in from the start. It also makes future growth easier. Once we master water on Mars or the Moon, new places plug into the same system. We build certainty instead of hoping for it.
What are the core elements of your structure?
CryoSurvey and geophysics maps deposits with orbital radars, subsurface probes, and predictive modeling. Extraction engineering builds location-specific systems. Deep cryo drills for Mars, thermal sublimation chambers for lunar regolith, rotational anchors for comets. Volatile processing and chemistry removes contaminants and manages electrolysis. Distribution infrastructure constructs insulated, buried, self-healing pipe networks and cryogenic storage vaults. Deep body operations deploy mobile extraction fleets to icy moons and cometary bodies. AI predictive systems run constant failure modeling, pressure anomalies, vapor escape scenarios, structural fatigue. Central authority sets standards. Local operators execute within strict redundancy protocols.
If you branched out, what fits naturally?
Hydrogen and oxygen fuel systems, water as stored propulsion. Electrolysis is not a new industry. It is a continuation of ours. We would simply extend the chain one step forward into mobility. Habitat atmospheric control, humidity regulation, temperature stabilization, and air revitalization all intersect water cycles. We already regulate phase transitions. Extending into atmospheric systems is logical adjacency. Both remain within our core competence, controlled state change.
How is Earth water different?
Earth water is gentle and forgiving. Big oceans, rain, slow rivers, easy to reach. Space water is wild and dangerous, scattered, poisoned, quick to vanish, hard to hold. Earth lets you make mistakes. Space punishes everyone instantly.
What is the utility of ice comets and icy moons?
They're giant frozen fuel tanks floating in space. They hold energy and life support for the outer solar system. Without them, trips to Neptune or the Kuiper Belt stay dreams. They turn dead ice into the power to keep expanding.
What's the plan for icy moons and comets?
For moons, treat them like remote water factories. Map every crack and warm spot first. Send machines that anchor, melt, or cut carefully. Catch every bit of vapor. Clean it there or turn it straight into fuel for bases and ships. For comets, treat them like moving gas stations. Study their spin and path exactly. Grab them gently to stop wild turning. Drill or heat inside sealed containers. Process on board into clean water or fuel. Let the comet deliver supplies on its orbit. In both cases, turn chaos into something you can count on.
Why can't someone else do this?
They could, but most won't. Splitting the job across companies creates weak spots where responsibility disappears. Our strength is owning every step so blame can't hide. Others aren't willing to carry that full weight.
Start to finish, what is your process?
Our process is one unbroken chain designed to own water completely, from hidden ice to daily use. It starts with cryosurvey and geophysics. We map every pocket of ice deep underground or on distant bodies using seismic tools, probes, and orbital scans. No guessing, no blind drilling. Once mapped, extraction engineering takes over with custom machines. Drills for Mars, thermal lances for the moon, grapples for spinning comets. We pull the ice without losing a gram to vapor or contamination. Next comes volatile processing and chemistry. We clean out poisons like perchlorates, separate useful parts, and turn water into fuel or pure drinking supply on site when needed. Then distribution infrastructure moves it through tough, self-fixing pipes and tanks to habitats, farms, or ships. Always cold, always pressurized. AI systems and predictive modeling watch everything, running thousands of failure scenarios to catch problems early. Deep body operations handle far-out comets and moons with mobile, self-running units. The whole thing loops back. Data from delivery improves mapping and extraction next time. Nothing is outsourced. Every step feeds the others. We take all risks so colonies get simple, reliable water. This isn't a supply chain. It's a living system that keeps people alive where nature is hostile.
Can your process be replicated?
Technically, yes. Anyone with enough money and engineers could copy the tools and steps. The machines, AI models, and methods aren't secret forever. But in practice, almost nobody does it successfully. The real barrier isn't technology, it's the mindset and structure. Replication fails because most groups split the work across companies or teams. Each split creates weak spots where blame hides and corners get cut. We keep everything under one roof with total responsibility, no excuses. That requires a culture that owns every failure and plans for worst cases excessively. Most organizations can't handle that weight. They protect reputations or spread risk. It also needs patience for years of expensive failures before profit, plus willingness to build before demand exists. Few leaders or investors accept that, so while pieces get copied, the full sovereign loop, reliable at planetary scale, stays rare.
In what level of abundance are your services not needed?
Our services stop being critical only when water becomes truly limitless and risk-free in a place people live. On Earth, that's already somewhat true in wet regions. Rain, rivers, oceans make control less urgent. But off-Earth, true abundance is extremely hard to reach. Even with perfect recycling, 99% plus recovery, Colonies always lose tiny amounts through leaks, reactions, or growth. New people, farms, and factories need fresh supply. On Mars or the Moon, ice is scattered, poisoned, and quick to vanish. Comets and outer moons are far and chaotic. Until a settlement has local water sources bigger than its needs forever, with massive safety margins, someone must manage the physics tightly. We'd become unnecessary only in a far future scenario. Giant ocean worlds fully terraformed, or unlimited water creation from fusion, or colonies so big they mine asteroids casually. Until then, even in abundant setups, tight control saves lives and power. Scarcity is the default in space. Abundance is earned slowly.
What was the up and running process on Mars?
On Mars, getting up and running started with years of remote mapping, orbital radar, and seismic data to find the big subsurface glaciers without wasting drills on dry spots. We landed small, hardened survey rigs first, autonomous units that drove around confirming ice depth, perchlorate levels, and pressure pockets. No people yet, just machines that could survive dust storms and cold nights. Once we had reliable maps, we sent the heavy extraction packages, cryogenic drills with sealed heads that melt and capture at the same time, preventing sublimation loss in the thin atmosphere. The real work was redundancy. Every drill site got triple backups, extra bores, vapor traps, and on-site purification to neutralize perchlorates before piping. We built small reservoirs first, then looped them into the early habitats for drinking, farming, and fuel. Initial output was low but flawless. We scaled only after proving zero major losses over a full Martian year. The whole ramp-up took longer than the Moon because Mars ice is deeper and more chemically hostile. But once stable, it became the backbone for real population growth. Wasn't glamorous, lots of waiting, remote fixes, and scrapped early rigs, but that patience paid off. When the Mars Colonial Authority finally plugged in, water wasn't a worry anymore. It was infrastructure.
What was the up and running process on the Moon?
The Moon was faster, but more delicate because the ice is patchy, mixed in dusty regolith, and in permanent vacuum. Lose one molecule and it's gone forever. We began with high-resolution orbital scans to pinpoint shadowed crater deposits, then landed lightweight rovers with ground-penetrating radar for final confirmation. First boots on ground were small robotic excavators that gently sintered regolith to release trapped ice without boiling it away. Everything had to be ultra-sealed, enclosed processing domes, vacuum-rated pipes, and electrostatic dust mitigation from day one. We started with pilot plants at the South Pole, compact refineries that separate ice grain by grain, heat just enough to sublimate, then recapture every bit of vapor. Storage was orbital tanks at first, ferrying down only what was needed until surface reservoirs could be buried and insulated. Scale-up happened quicker than Mars because volumes are smaller and distances shorter, but precision was brutal. Any dust contamination or leak killed efficiency. We hit reliable flow for the Lunar Settlement Consortium within a couple years by overbuilding containment and running everything robotic until proven. Once steady, lunar water became the quiet enabler for continuous habitation instead of short missions.
Why is humanity delayed becoming multiplanetary?
Comfort. Earth is forgiving. Mistakes don't usually kill civilizations overnight. You can waste water, mismanage energy, fight politically, and still wake up with breathable air. That psychological cushion breeds procrastination. Second, fragmentation of responsibility. Becoming multiplanetary requires long-term coordination, but modern systems reward quarterly returns and no one wants a 30-year risk curve. Third, and this is blunt, we confuse exploration with settlement. Flags and footprints are symbolic. Permanent water systems, closed-loop agriculture, radiation-hardened habitats, that's civilization work. It's slower, less cinematic, and far more expensive up front. Humanity hasn't delayed because it's incapable. It's delayed because true settlement demands discipline over drama. And we've historically preferred drama.
That's it for entry 9. Thank you, Chris, and thank you for your attention. Cheers.
Thanks, Safa. This was refreshing.